Labour have a serious problem, and this is more than just people having the perception that Keir Starmer has taken this lunge to the right. And it may or may not be true. I'll get to that in a sec anyway. But Labour's biggest problem is communication. Their communication team is dog water. It is bottom barrel, just atrocious. And honestly, I sit here and I think, are Labour's communication team entirely volunteers who are not getting paid? Or is someone actually getting money for the atrocious job that they do? I work a couple of different jobs, right? One of them, I advise companies, and my services, I'm relatively cheap because I don't have that many clients. I tend to go for niche areas, so I don't charge thousands upon thousands. Unless you're going to keep me on a retainer, then we're talking about something different. But when I give advice and I give these plans, I will give a little bit for free, sure. But if someone keeps coming back to me, I'm not going to keep on giving them free advice. I'm going to say, okay, well, if you want more, you now need to pay me. And it's in my best interest that that company thrives under what I've told them. So Labour's communication team, their best interest is that Labour's, the people's opinion of Labour go up. But it is so unforgivably low. It is unjustifiable that Labour is actually paying people for this atrocious, shoddy work. There is a big problem that Labour have, and it's not just Labour, Green Party have this as well, where they think they only need to worry about legacy media, and they're completely ignoring social media. Now, that's a massive mistake in a few different ways, least of all because Reform UK realises how important social media is. But one of the reasons why that's such a car crash of an idea is because legacy media, your BBCs, your ITVs, blah, 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 they're not friendly to Labour. They're not friendly to Greens. I mean, shit, you would be forgiven if you didn't know how many seats the Lib Dems have. You would be forgiven that because they're never fucking on TV. Why? Because legacy media cares about the Conservatives and about views. Nigel Farage is good for views. Reform UK is good for views. So they don't tend to push back on the vile rhetoric and the nonsense that these people constantly spit out. There's almost no pushback at all because their first job, legacy media's first job, Newsnight's first job, Question Time's first job, get people's attention. Everything else is secondary. And Nigel Farage is good for clicks. But Labour seem to think that they can ignore social media because legacy media is going to do them a favour and legacy media is going to report on all the good shit. No, it's not. There are very simple ways that Labour could dominate the news cycle, and they are choosing not to do it. They are making that conscious choice, either because the people in the communication teams are incompetent or because the people advising Starmer on, hey, this is what you need to say to get the public on side, they are so fucking stupid, it is unforgivable. Now, social media is incredibly important, right? There's no denying that. There's no hiding from that. The overwhelming majority of a negativity that I see for Labour is lies, but it's lies that has been spread around on social media because that reaches people first. It's really that simple. If Labour had half a mind to be on social media, to use social media properly, they would be dominating. Their opinion polls would not necessarily be through the roof, but they would damn sight be a lot fucking higher than they were right now, and Reform UK would still just be a fucking protest vote that no one takes seriously during a general election. It's already been suggested as to what Keir Starmer could do, so I'm not going to cover too much ground with that here, but there are so many options that, again, I sit here and I wonder, is Labour's communication team genuinely incompetent? Or is it that they're just not getting paid? Hopefully the audio for the rest of this isn't going to be as bad as I think it will be, but hey ho. Now, Reform UK are very good at using social media. It's why there are a lot of people who are defending Reform UK on a lot of different aspects, despite the fact that Reform UK have said literally the opposite of what Reform UK supporters are saying, and that's a problem. I've had discussions with people where I've told them Nigel Farage's plans for the NHS, and they've turned around and gone, no, that's not it. But that's what the manifesto said. That's what their contract said during the general election. And I checked that thing a week or two ago, and it is exactly the same on their website. Yeah, but Nigel Farage distanced himself from that manifesto. Make it make sense, people. Make it make sense. But that's the problem. Labour are panicking. They're in a right tizzy because of the hammering they took over the council elections. So now they're trying to reach out for the reform votes, and it is monumentally stupid. Grade A dumbass. You are never going to beat Nigel Farage on a discussion about immigration because, for the first point, he's going to consistently conflate asylum seekers with immigrants. Point blank. Practically my whole thing on TikTok is explaining to people that an asylum seeker is a different word, therefore has a different meaning to an immigrant. I've had the conversation so often I can do it in my sleep. I know what the response is going to be before the person's even seen my reply to them. But Labour are trying to chase that. Oh no, we're going to have stricter immigration. Reform UK are saying that they're going to have none. You are arguing facts and figures to a bunch of people who don't care about facts and figures. They only care about emotions. That's it. It is redundant to have that argument. You are in fact punishing immigrants, which in turn is going to punish people in this country. It's going to punish the economy. It's going to punish the working people in this country. For what? Because the reform voters are never going to vote for Labour. Ever. Half of those motherfuckers still think that Starmer let Savile off, for God's sake, despite the fact that you can put all of the evidence in front of them and show them point blank, and still they would not accept it. So why the fuck is Labour going after the right-wing votes? Elections in this country are won and lost on the centre ground. Jeremy Corbyn lost to Boris Johnson because while he appealed to people further on the left, people in the centre didn't feel like they could get behind him. And so he lost to Boris fucking Johnson, of all people. The man so cowardice, he hid in a fucking fridge. The man so dishonest, he lies about his name. The man whose attitude to politics was put enough catastrophes and bullshit out into the world that no one can keep track of just how dishonest and scandalous you actually are. Jeremy Corbyn lost to him because Corbyn didn't appeal to people in the centre. And now, Keir Starmer is saying to people on the left and in the centre, fuck you, I want the people on the right wing. Because of incredibly bad communication teams and piss poor fucking advisors.